I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called The Trip, and best believe it's a fucking trip. Almost 2 hours long. Spoiler alert. Let's just get it. So you got this couple that's been cheating on each other. The thing is, he don't know that Shorty's pregnant with another guy named Daniel. But this is all bullshit. It's actually part of a show. We got this guy by the name of Lars who's directing the whole thing. He tells his co-star he's supposed to be going on a treat with his wife, Lisa. And the way he explains it seems like they're not really on good terms. Then he goes to this nursing home to visit his dad. Now, apparently the cabin that they're going to use is their dad's old cabin. But before he goes home, he makes a trip to the hardware store. He picks up a saw, a hammer, duct tape, some rope. Thinking to yourself, what the hell is he going to use that for? So he puts all this stuff in the spare tire behind it in the trunk and closes it up. Apparently, he doesn't want his wife Lisa to find out. While they're on the road, she starts talking shit about his bad directing jobs. And his wife's supposed to be an actor, and he talks shit about her only making Sudafed commercials. So the tension's high already with this couple. They get to the cabin, he finds out the security alarm is messed up. So he just opens the door and they go in. They get themselves situated and all that. They got the food and everything. Now Lars goes down in the basement and see the pool table set up and everything like that. He checks in one of these closets and he finds out they got barrel shotguns in there with the ammunition. As Lisa's putting away the wine bottles, knives on deck. So they settle in, they're trying to cook dinner, they argue with each other about what to cook. After berating each other for a while, they enjoy their meal. Then they sit down to play Scrapple. He beats her at Scrapple and then he does more antagonizing, just rubbing it in, but obviously this is not just about Scrapple. Later on he goes outside to drink some more wine. Next day she's sitting in the hammock drinking her tea. Lars is in the distance with a bag, he's over there collecting rocks. So you're thinking to yourself, what the hell for? He ends up putting a bag on a boat that they have out back. Then he goes to his car, gets the equipment, and lays it out in the basement. Then all of a sudden, Lisa calls him for something, and he's gonna be right up. But he breaks the hammer upstairs with him. Gets himself a couple of drinks, you know, that good old-fashioned vodka. He's approaching her with the hammer, and she about to get whacked. But she ends up hitting him with a fucking taser. She ends up tying him up to a chair, but how did she see all this coming? Well, apparently, she saw him out there with the bag and put two and two together. So the thing is, they really ain't got no money like that, they're both in debt. Lars actually been taking these side gigs with director roles, and we found out she cheated on him with this dude named Diego. Because they ain't been having sex like that, they ain't been getting it in. Frustration all around. So he thought this would be the perfect place to get it done. But now Lisa got the upper hand, you about to get da-da-da-da. Then we go to a flashback where Lisa was talking to a friend before Lars was there to pick her up. And you got this guy named Willie, I guess he's like her gardener or something. And she's no dummy, she felt the tension building up between her and her husband. And she probably had a feeling he knew about Diego. So now she about to done deal Lars. Then all of a sudden she gets whacked with a shovel. By Willie, how the hell did he get up here? But Lars had this planned all along. See, before the trip, he was talking to Willie at this carnival, and he told him he's about to get $1 million settlement. He's going to break him off half, basically $500,000. Now, why is he breaking him off so much? For a gardener? Because when he kills her, he wants to have her body chopped up. And that's what the rocks are for in the boat. But he is terrible when it comes to cutting stuff up. Shit, even when he goes back to dinner when he was cutting up his steak. So Willie here, his background duties are as an expert on cleaning. Basically, he's paying him to do the rest of the dirty work. So now we have the situation. But my thing is, if they ain't got no money like that, how the hell's he gonna pay him $500,000? Turns out they were gonna collect on her life insurance policy. Wow. But here's the thing though. She starts talking some more and tells her the life insurance policy is not $1 million, but $3 million. And she's talking to Willie saying basically Lars is jipping you. You deserve more money than that. So now Willie gets to thinking, hey, you trying to fuck me over? It was good. Fuck you over. I was about to give you $500,000, nigga. What the fuck? So as they're trying to argue the price up, Willie gets confused. He starts pointing the gun at Lars. While he's confused, Lars tackles him to the ground like, fuck this shit. In the process, knocked over Lisa and she was able to get herself free. But while they were going back and forth with the gun, somehow Willie ended up getting his hand blown off. Like, oh shit. So they all stop for a minute like, yo, what the fuck? So Lisa's like, come on, man. We gotta get this man some help. We gotta take him to the hospital. It's like, okay, we gotta stop, but how we gonna stop him? He starts running to the door like, man, we gotta get to the hospital. Lisa tells him we gotta stop. Then all of a sudden, Lars pulls out the shotgun and blows his fucking back out. Lars is like, man, you told me to stop him. She's like, no, I said stop the bleeding. What the fuck, dude? He said, well, fuck it. I already killed one. Why not two? And he points the gun at Lisa. She's like, it's a 2-barrel shotgun, you dummy. You already wasted one. So they tussle it back and forth. They try and get some more bullets. They get to the bedroom. It's beef. They end up shooting the ceiling, and all of a sudden they hear people screaming. Then the whole damn attic caves in. And then these 3 dudes drop in. So you think to yourself, who the fuck is that? Well, it turns out these 3 guys are named Roy, Petter, and Dave, and they're supposed to be convicted felons that escaped. They've been traveling through the forest, escaping, and they end up coming across the cabin. Roy destroyed the security alarm, so that's the reason why it didn't work. And they came in and made themselves a home. They got themselves into a new change of clothes. Then they saw the couple, Lisa and Lars, making their way there. So this is when they decided to pull the ladder down and hide in the attic. Then the dude, Roy, needs to take a shit because earlier he ate some poisonous berries or something. Because they can't go nowhere, he ends up doing it right there. It's like, ugh, fucking sick. And at that time, this is when Willie was making his way there. So when the scuffle was happening, that's when Roy had got shot in his ass and was jumping around, and that's when the attic caved in. And now here we are, the couple's tied up. It gets to the point where these felons need money, but there ain't a whole lot in there. So basically, they're going to take advantage of somebody in this situation. And we're thinking to themselves, oh man, are they going to take advantage of Lisa? But as it turns out, they actually try to take advantage of Lars. Ugh. But he ends up fighting it off for a little bit. Peter tells him to kiss his feet, makes him apologize to his wife. Then he attempts to almost shoot him. But he doesn't really shoot him, he loaded up with blanks. But even after all the begging and pleading, they're like, nah, we still gonna fuck you. But then Lisa actually surprises us and saves him from getting raped. She tells her she's got $125,000 stashed at the bank, but she's got to go to the bank to get it. But you can't violate this deal. And Peter's like, all right, deal. So while they upstairs chilling, waiting for the next day, they downstairs contemplating life. Lisa actually tries to apologize to Lars about Diego and everything. But he's so zoned out and traumatized, he doesn't even respond. So then he gets the idea, kicks some pool balls up and put it towards him. Acts like he's making a fuss and a commotion. Roy comes down and he's like, look, I gotta go to the bathroom. So he lets him use the bathroom, everything's all good and gravy. While Lars is in the bathroom, Roy's talking to Lisa. He wants her to show some titties. Then he comes out the bathroom and blasts him with a sock full of billiard balls. Lisa gets free by picking up the knife Roy had and cutting herself loose. Lisa ends up sneaking past the other two. She gets to the truck, but unfortunately, there ain't no keys in there. They must have hid the keys. The boys go out searching. She comes back in and finds the boat keys, but unfortunately, Roy's batteries in the flashlight ran out, so he came back in the house. But Roy didn't realize Lars was right behind him. There's a scuffle in the mix, but bottom line, Roy gets his head blown off. They come back in the house, they see the mess. Lars and Lisa hide in the closet. And then he starts apologizing to her about everything, about the debts and all that stuff. He gives her the boat keys and tells her to get out of here the moment you can. Once Peter comes in, Lars busts through the door and attacks him. She jumps out the window and lands on the other dude, but somehow Peter ends up getting the best of Lars. He's about to finish this man off with a revved up lawnmower. Then all of a sudden his car comes out of nowhere and hits Peter. And it's Lars' dad? What the fuck is he doing up here? So apparently he got an anonymous tip from a neighbor that more than a couple of cars are at his old cabin. So he basically goes up to the guy that's securing the whole nursing home, smacks the dude with his cane, takes his car, and heads up there. Scuffle ensues. Dave ends up getting shot in his leg. Dad ends up getting cut with a lawnmower. Lars finishes off Dave. His dad dies on a hammock. Peter's got Lisa on the boat. Lars somehow got to the rope before the boat took off. Lars was almost about to get done, but then somehow Lisa tied the bag of rocks around this nigga's neck, which is also tied to an anchor, got him done deal dead as shit. It also wrapped around Lars's foot. At this point she could have killed him, but then she was like, nah, fuck all that. You come back in the boat. And they made it. They're still thinking about their debts and how much money they owe. They think they're fucked. But then they get an idea on how they can spin it. So after the police came to explain the epic story, they turned their drama into a real life movie production. They sold their story to the media, and their movie made millions of dollars. They were able to pay off their debts, and now they're happy again. Man, it was a whole bunch of shit. This shit is wild, man. The Trip on Netflix. Check it out. Like, subscribe, do all that. You already on top of this. These are the easy best stars. Big. You got that slogan.